Hey everyone, I'm playing some more Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered on the PS4. Well, that's what I'm playing in this footage. I'm going to be talking about the recent reveal for the Call of Duty multiplayer, specifically the new Gunfight mode that was mentioned earlier. So a couple of days ago, Infinity Ward invited 4 Twitch streamers to their studio to play the 2v2 multiplayer mode called Gunfight. I think maybe a better name would be Doubles, because that's essentially what it is. It's just a match that consists of a series of rounds of 2v2. Maybe they'd come up with a better name like Deuces or Twos or something. I've chosen this particular footage because pretty soon, as you'll see, I'm playing TDM 6v6, but it ends up just being me and one other player for a while. And that is what Gunfight is about. It's just 2v2. So it's really fast paced. The rounds are super short, 40 seconds in length. There's no respawn, no regenerating health, although you can no automatically regenerating health. I mean, you can inject yourself to refill your health, but because the maps are so small and the rounds are so quick, the action is so fast paced, you really have to rely on your teammate if you want to do well. I mean, because it's just 2 other players. In theory, you could, 1v2 your way to victory, but definitely if you have a teammate, you have a serious advantage because you can communicate, you can watch each other's backs. So as you can see in this footage, it's just me and my teammate. We're outnumbered 3-1. I'm not gonna lie, at this point I was considering just quitting the game. I didn't want to get destroyed, murked, have my KDR suffer. I'm just hiding out. My teammate is bossing it. This is the perfect footage. At this point, I decide, you know what? I'm going to be a good teammate. I'm going to watch my teammates back. And what do you know? I got my stealth class, 2 quick kills, preventing my teammate from getting gangbanged. Because they were going to flank him. I get killed, but my teammate, I think, avenges me. And we are within striking distance. And my teammate, he spawns. Okay, no, he died. But he spawns with me, and he pretty ballsy move. He fires his gun to the ground to let the other team know where we are. Quickly, we're joined by another player. Going back to the footage that I saw. So, I mean, I'm not on Twitch, but several YouTubers have captured that Twitch footage and just given overviews. So it, at its core, it still looks and feels like COD, but definitely with the distinct Rainbow Six, and there I am, helping out my teammate again. Where was I? Oh yeah, so the new footage has distinct Rainbow Six and Battlefield flavor while still maintaining that Call of Duty taste, in that it's really fast-paced. Was really more just the nature of that game mode, but I did see instances of the new quote-unquote mounting mechanic that was mentioned by other people. So maybe propping is a better name, because I know one YouTuber, TMarTn in particular, he was kind of confused by the name mounting. He thought mounting a gun was like mounting surfaces, but it's really just propping your gun along vertical edges, like the edge of a corner, or along horizontal edges, for example, like a railing or the hood of a car. So going back to the Gunfight, like I said, oh yeah, so there's a melee kill. The footage that we saw, the melee kills are more like Halo, in that you do a melee attack with your currently equipped weapon. You don't pull out a knife or a samurai sword or a beer bottle like you can do in this game. So that's another change. One thing that is different is the running animations. So in this game, when you run for the short period that you can run, your character has his gun pointed toward the ground, which is, I think, a bit more natural. But in the footage that you can see on YouTube, on Twitch, or wherever, when your characters run, their gun tends to point up. But that, I guess, it's possible maybe that's just like one of the running modes. There might be a full-on sprint mode where your character maybe has a sling and slings his gun to the side so he can sprint and pump his arms to get maximum speed. What else? What else? Oh yeah, so COD 4 back in the day, over 10 years ago, it really introduced perks and character progression, which have become mainstays to this series and in first-person shooters in general. But in Gunfight, there are no perks, there's no kill streaks, there's no custom classes. The weapon sets are randomly selected, and they're universal across players. So in other words, every player starts with the same weapon set. And there's still kill cams. And there's at the beginning of the round, you can see silhouettes of the other team as the round is counting down to the start. And once the round actually starts, you don't see their silhouettes anymore. I mean, it's kind of a stylistic choice, but I think maybe one way that they could show the kill cam is have like a body cam instead of like actually seeing the kill from the eyes of the person who did the killing. You could have like show it as though you're looking at it through a body cam that's mounted on, you know, the character's shoulder or helmet or wherever. And I know it seems kind of silly, but I think maybe in this particular mode, where it's more arenas and competitive, like it's specifically competitive, maybe instead of actually showing the characters killing each other with, you know, the extended melee animation that you can see in third person, or like explosions and bullet wounds, maybe the characters within the universe could be using like simulated weapons, like they're firing blanks or they're using laser guided systems or paintball. Kind of like I can't really think of a game that does that, but like just to reinforce the idea that it's really a competitive match, but it's not actual warfare. That's what I'm saying. And Kill House is an example. It's similar to the maps that we've seen in the Gunfight footage, in which within the universe the areas are prefabricated. So it's like they're areas that you can tell have been specifically built for training. So you're not like quote unquote out in the real world. So there's one map that's just similar to Kill House. It's like in a warehouse with plywood and prefabricated structures, and then there's another map, Pine, which is a similar setting, similar premise in like a forest area. And then there's another map that we saw that's like kind of like, I don't know, like a shipping area, but it's pretty obvious just by looking at from the beginning that the matches are taking place in like an arena within that universe. It's not like in a civilian area that's been evacuated, for example. And so that's the, you know, more traditional sandbox, contain, fast-paced COD type of map. But there's rumors that there's going to be like a battle royale mode, like a more sandbox type of mode. And there might be, one YouTuber Drifter said, there may be as many as 150 versus 150. Or if they're not able to, the developer's not able to achieve technical quality, they might go down to 100 versus 100. But I think in that type of mode, if there is that type of battle royale sandbox mode, that could be like the real war, right? That's where you would see the explosions and the actual gunshots and bullet wounds and deaths. Whereas in the more competitive modes, contained competitive modes like Gunfight, that's more of like simulated warfare, in which the characters are, going back to what I was saying before, like having characters in a game play characters in a game. So they're mock fighting for training and competitive purposes. Because I think if they stick with I know it's kind of a bold choice, but if they stick with the way they have Gunfight implemented now, kind of undermines the seriousness that they're going for. Because if you can just kill someone and then 20 seconds later you're seeing your character is alive, it's really, like I said, it just kind of goes against the seriousness and the consequences of war. I mean, I know it's just a game, but that's something that I would really like to see. So just to summarize, in your arena type of modes and maps, it's just quote-unquote pretend war. And then in your sandbox battle royale type of maps and modes, that's where it's for real. And so, I mean, I think it'd be boring if there's no respawn. Like if you just die, you have to sit out the entire match. So I think they're going to go more the battlefield route, in which your team has a certain number of lives, like a fixed amount of lives. And then if you need to, as a player, you can use whatever you need until your team runs out. That'd be a great compromise. And so I just got a ridiculous airstrike kill. The team was bunched up in one spot, and I'm just going to town with my individual kill streaks. Now, before time runs out, I think it'd be great if we had like more asymmetrical type of modes. Now, I presume that perks and character progression and kill streaks will be available in the other multiplayer modes. But I think it'd be a great idea if we had like one team plays more commando. If there's like a commando faction, those players on that team would have character perks and more advanced weapons to choose from and attachments, but they would be outnumbered like 2-1 or 3-1 compared to the other team, which, to balance things out, would be more like your militia. They wouldn't have perks to reflect the fact that they're not as well trained, and they wouldn't have as advanced weapons. But overall, I like what I see from the new footage. It still looks and feels like COD, but with a more realistic flavor, and I'm all for that. Thanks for watching.